Hey,
Over
Joker.
already starting in year one.
Sources are
Hey,
cooking up.
let me say
Hey,
this,
don't start
man.
that, Harley.
Man, I'm like Dalton Schultz has been an utter and complete disappointment this
Oof.
season. Um, with the expectations of him being CJ safety valve, him being, eating off of the coverage, double coverage of Tank, Nico, and Stephon Diggs, him, getting those out in the flat routes open, making moves, doing all these things that were expected of Dalton Schultz. He has not done it a single one of them.
Hmm.
He may do a little bit here, a little bit there, give you a little taste, but I mean, he's been what do you call it, alligator arming
Hmm.
passes all season long. Um, I mean, his blocking has been touch and go. He'll have one great block, and then the rest of the game is just doo doo. Um, so it's just hard to find a positive for Dalton Schultz other than he's a veteran and K Stover is not ready yet. Um, it's
Harley,
not,
your thoughts on number 86, man? I've been very disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. What about you?
18 catches, 143 yards, no touchdowns. That's what he's got so far this year. Last year, he had 59 catches for 635. Look, I didn't expect him to maybe touch those numbers, but man, I don't know if he gets in the vicinity of those numbers. Just because, I didn't expect him to touch those same numbers just because of what we added on offense. Hunter Henry, by the way, the
Don't
guy
start.
that me and Ruben both kind of mentioned as a guy that maybe the Houston Texans, maybe wanted to take a look at this offseason. 19 catches, 221 yards, and a touchdown. Look, not much better in terms of the catching department, and that also regarded to his offense. Dalton Schultz isn't a good blocker. He he chooses when he wants to block. He could be a good blocker if he really wanted to. Just doesn't choose to do it when he wants. So it's really up to him whether or not he wants to block on a play or not. Um, Seth Payne has talked about this, and he got on a rant with Dalton Schultz. If anybody wants to listen to that, I believe that was like a few days ago, or maybe last week actually, which was funny as hell. And that was basically him just talking about his lack of blocking. The Houston Texans just they ask from Dalton Schultz to not do what he, he's uncomfortable doing, and it's blocking more so than anything. I look at like the Baltimore Ravens; they utilize Mark Andrews more as a blocker now than than he's supposed to be as a receiver. He's a really good threat as a wide receiver in terms of your receiving tight end. Dalton Schultz, and then you get Cowboys fans going, well, this is kind of what Dalton Schultz was. He was kind of a guy that would be non-existent at times, somewhat of a ghost. That's why they kind of let him go per their whatever they want to say. Jake Ferguson does exactly what he does apparently, so if not better. It's a very odd conversation to have with Dalton Schultz, especially considering they gave him a pretty good little contract too. And so, I don't
Harley.
like it. I don't want Dalton Schultz. I don't like seeing Dalton Schultz. I get old of it. It's really old, but kind of hoping that maybe a breakout game is going to happen sooner or later. Maybe something's going to happen where he breaks out for a season high 5 catches in 35 yards.
Keep
Stress, do
hoping
you think is this how we're gonna see, Dalton Schultz season go, or do you think that big breakout game is coming? I mean, you would hope so, from someone you gave a 3-year, $30 million contract to. Harley mentioned this on Bleacher Report when the Texans talked about the offense. Dalton Schultz was a part of that five-headed monster. And
Yeah.
He kind of looks like that one meme where you got two serious dragons on one side, and one of them's doing the whole,
Yeah.
stupid face. But hopefully number 86 could get it going. But your thoughts on him so far?
Yeah, I mean, y'all are all right. I mean, I've been saying it since the early weeks. Like he looks like off, like he's lackadaisical, like on his routes, blocking. Y'all mentioned there's other times like with the balls in the air. There's a couple, I forget, a couple games ago where like he just like didn't go for the ball. His stats in the game were what? How many receptions on how many targets? Like the
8 or
catch
4.
rated. That's terrible. I mean, and there was one that was like a corner route that was like it looked like he could have kept running and like stopped. So I don't know if that's just like effort or miscommunication. Um, I will say the interception. I don't personally think that's you can put it on him, but he didn't drop it. In my opinion, I feel like it got tipped. What I would like to see in that situation is him be aggressive and go back towards the ball at the catch point. I feel like he's kind of been, just not aggressive. There was a out route that he dropped that he tried to slow down in one hand that he could have ran through and caught. Initially, I was thinking that maybe it was like injury because I think he was battling like an ankle injury early on. But now we're too far in the season. Like this isn't an injury unless it's like some crazy injury that we don't know you're playing through. But I'm optimistic he will turn it around. But it's like right now it's just dumbfounding. Like if I was just looking at his PFF grades, like he graded pretty well last year and he's terrible this year, like across the board. His pass blocking is his lowest, which is concerning. But I did actually before our show, I was listening to CJ's interview from earlier this week, and he was asked about him, and he did point out some stuff, and I think someone in the comments shouted out. I think Mr. Optimistic said it. CJ said that he is like another coach out there. He could see him be an OC one day, and the fact that he's getting guys aligned for blocking and assignments, helping Joe, helping Cade. So I mean, there is some value in that, but you can't hide what's going on. But I'm hoping he can get it turned around.
AD, this is back-to-back games where this offensive line has not been a talking point of this game. We did not see a false start from number 78 when he was in the game. Fortunately, missed some time in the second half. How has his offensive line played for you? CJ Stroud sacked 2 times against the New England Patriots. I think the fact that we're not talking about him is kind of, indicative that they're doing okay.
Offensive line is playing.
Nestor, you're crazy, bro.
Oh man. But no, just offensive line. I've been adamant this whole season. Offensive line has been getting a lot more like discredit, or if you want to say that, or a lot more heat than they should have. And there we go with another BS.
Take perfect timing.
Like just another BS take. I got into it with a few Twitter people about Kenyon Green specifically. They'll show me one play a game, and then I'll show them 3, and then they don't. They'll just say he's just trash 24/7. Watching offensive line play last Sunday, they played a hell of a game. CJ Stroud on numerous times. I would say how many passes did he throw? What, 22?
He threw 31 actually.
31. I say out of those 31 passes, probably 25 of them he was sitting back in the pocket for 45 seconds. So it was not a lot of pressure put on CJ. If it was, the 2 sacks, I do kind of credit CJ for holding the ball too long, especially one. Literally, we were on all 22 and we counted it down. It was like 5 seconds before CJ even the guy got close to CJ. So it's just, a little bit here, a little bit there. But the offensive line has been playing excellent, especially these last few games. And not enough credit being given to him.
Harley, how has Kenyon Green been in your opinion? We have a lot of people calling him a bust, right? We see the threads on Twitter. We see the comments on Twitter. Everyone hates Kenyon Green, but I want to give him some flowers, man. I want to give this old line some flowers. We were talking about them being a liability for this Houston Texans team, saying, hey, if they don't clean it up, they will lose you a football game. We're talking about, 3 games in a row of 10-plus penalties, 8 of them being from the offense. The fact that they cleaned this up, mistake-free football, keeping CJ Stroud upright. Besides from Kenyon Green, man, your thoughts on the O-line?
I mean, 0 false starts from 78, right?
Hey,
2 weeks in a row, man.
Oh, what?
Here we go. He making me lose money, man. I've been betting that over too much. He got me losing money.
What's the over-under for this one?
I have no clue. I've been making that up, but whatever. I don't know if there's an over-under on his false starts. I'm sure there probably is somewhere because you could bet anything in this world. But look, man, the offensive line, yeah, man, kudos to them. I mean, Titus Howard got his Twitter fingers off, like he ain't got no more Twitter. Good for him. Thank God he
Oh, he
got rid of that.
doesn't. I forgot about that.
And he's been okay. LT, hey, no false starts, 0 in the last 2 games. How about hey, we're streaking. LT streaking right now, man. 2 straight games, no false starts. Look, Kenyon Green, by the way, very good in the run game. Very, very good in the run game. In terms of the pass game and pass blocking, yeah, he's got some ways to work there. There's some miscommunication still when it comes to that as well. I know everybody. I forgot. I know there's one little play that everyone was like going after him about because there was 3 guys that went on that one side, and he kind of just tailed off with Juice Scruggs and didn't really have a guy per se. Just kind of feel like there's still some miscommunication issues on the offensive line. So
yeah, that
things
was
are going to figure itself out. Go ahead, Amy.
No, I'm saying that was a protection call because
Exactly.
everybody,
Yeah, they slided to the right.
Yeah, everybody slid to the right except Tunsil.
Yeah.
So it was actually a protection call that everybody followed. So, I don't put too much blame on him. That may be more CJ and Bobby than anything, or who I don't know who calls the protections. So
the fans, buddy. They seen that play, and it's
Bobby.
It's all that was all Kenyon Green. You see, he didn't even touch anyone there, man.
There
Come
was
on,
one
man.
rep where we saw Titus Howard slip, and then
he was breakdancing. He was breakdancing.
He did the Booker T, man. He did the spin-a-rooney right there, man.
Before we get to the defense, what's this offensive coordinator Bobby Slovik's best called game? I'm gonna go ahead and say it was. You were without Nico Collins. You put up 41 points. Kind of silenced the critics a little bit this week. There's been a lot of people on his head pause, all season. But in my opinion, he did pretty good against the Pats.
Were you asking me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm in the boat where I feel like his criticisms have been way too harsh. I mean, we pointed to it earlier. You look at the drop off of running back play from he's been on his 3rd string running back all year, and it's no wonder the running game is trash. And then all of a sudden now the running game works. Everything works after that. I mean, the Patriots defense also too. The Patriots as a team are not good, but their defense isn't that bad. But obviously it helps when our defense gets us the ball with great field position with 4 turnovers. But I don't think too much changed. I mean, as I alluded to earlier, I feel like he's adapting on his scheme on the run game. But there were some good calls in there. I mean, it's just been a lot of misnomers, in my opinion, or misconceptions. People think it's as simple as don't run the ball on first down. To me, hasn't been the issue. I know me and AD have kind of hashed through a lot of this stuff, figuring out what's going on. But, I mean, I guess, end result is 40 plus points, so you have to say yes. I think the biggest thing for me, though, was the start. We came out, and that was my concern going to this game. I thought it was going to be and it kind of was the game plan. It was lean on your defense. You have a massive advantage with your pass rush against their pass protection, rookie quarterback, terrible line. I thought we'd be super conservative on offense and just let the defense do what they did, get the ball and turnovers. But we came out, I believe, first and got the ball, marched down the field and scored. And once I saw that, I was like, it's over, bro. Like, if our offense can move the ball on this defense, their best unit like that, it's a wrap. And then we scored again. We were up 14. Our first 2 drives were touchdowns. Like, I don't think we've done that all year. So that was the most encouraging part, was the fast start. Obviously, there was and the stalls that we did have in the second quarter that got the game back close was the pick in the end zone and a missed field goal. So, I mean, people were trying to blame Bobby Slowick for that. That was crazy to me. He had one drive, which was after that, where we were on our own 20 and it was run, scream, which, okay, fine. But it was one drive and we were kind of backed up out of the whole picture. So, yes, I thought it was his best.
AD, we saw your boy Will Anderson Jr. get 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, a pass batted that ended up being an interception. I said on Bleacher Report, this was a number 99 type of game from the reigning defensive rookie of the year. Hey, shout out to your boy. He was fantastic.
William Anderson Jr.
There you go.
Shout out to Will. I've been kind of begging for this type of game. I think I even said it last week on here that I needed Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter to have a dominant impact game. And it's been needed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And, outside, what was the Bears game the last time that Will had a sack, if I'm not mistaken? Same with Danielle. That was the last time that they both had a sack. So this was very imperative that they come in this game and dominate a weaker offensive line. Just glad to see it. Now, my only question is, can we be consistent with it? Can he dominate against the Packers offensive line? Who I don't think they have a great offensive line as well. But consistency and getting pressure, dominating these tackles and doing what you're supposed to do, being the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, the reigning NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, performing like it's just great to see.
And Harley, as we saw last year, it was kind of slow in the beginning for Will Anderson Jr. Then he turned it up and became the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Do you think we are seeing a recycle of that and just expect him to go on a tear these next couple of weeks? I mean, the way he was just going out there on Sunday and just hunting Drake May kind of feels like he's about to awaken.
Yeah, man. I had mentioned it on a video I did. I think that Will Anderson was I thought that Will Anderson, considering how great he was in this game, people want to just say, oh, it's the New England Patriots, and he was the New England Patriots are a bad team. I mean, the way he disrupted an entire game, like that is not easy to do. All right, considering any football team, all 31 other teams, that is tough to do. He disrupted the whole football game in every facet, whether it was getting sacks, whether it was a pass deflection, leading to turnovers. Like, come on, man. What else can you ask for from 51? He did everything and more. And he went into New England with the Mark Henry theme song. Somebody gonna get their ass kicked. He just went out there and did his thing.
Hey.
So that's exactly what he was walking into. Yeah, man, exactly. 3-6 Mafia. Anyway, so he did his thing against New England. And to me, this is hopefully something that can kickstart the rest of his year into, starting to enter that conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. That's what I'm trying to look at. 5.5 sacks right now. He's only about, I believe, 1.5 sacks or maybe 2 sacks away from the leader, considering Aiden Hutchinson,
Oh my God.
All right,
that was horrible.
That sucked. I did not want to see that video, but anyway, yeah, man, Will Anderson. I'm hoping, and that's what my video was basically about. I'm hoping that this could kickstart him. And I know Stressen's got the clip from when Will Anderson was talking about, hey, man, like he was getting more comfortable. He's getting like, maybe he was like a little nervous. I would think it was, or I'm probably chopping that up or something. But man, I'm just excited to see what else he could do for the rest of this year. Him and Daniel Hunter.
Stressins, we just saw Will Anderson Jr. win the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. We all expect that after his performance. He just got a prop put up on BetUS for the Defensive Player of the Year award. Your thoughts on number 51 and your thoughts on, Daniel Hunter. He also had a sack. He bent the hell out of Drake May's arm. And then after that, AD, we got to talk about a suspension, man. But go off, Stressins.
Yeah, so I put $50 on Will Anderson Jr. for the DPOY, and it's like to win $3,500. It's like something crazy, dude. So I'm
3,500.
Yeah, it's some crazy odds. I may be it's something crazy, but I'll check it. But anyhow, I wrote an article Saturday, and I wanted to. Well, it's too late now. It's probably a lot lower. But yeah, I wrote an article Saturday. And I wanted to make sure and get it out there because a lot of fans were frustrated with our D line. Oh, Daniil Hunter, we signed him. He ain't done nothing. He's got no sacks. Will Anderson Jr. There was dialogue about why did we trade up for him? Would you rather have him or the 2 picks that the Lions had in the first round? Would you rather have other players? And then, I felt it was imperative to point out, like, I know people don't believe in the pressures, but the pressures are a real stat. The Texans lead the league in pressure rate. Daniil Hunter is number 2 in the league in pressures, with 4 more than Will Anderson, who's number 7. And, Will Anderson went from being bottom of the league in sack total, and in just one game, he's like, top 5 now? So, I mean, like, what really changed? Like, nothing really changed. It's just opportunity. Maybe he didn't get double teamed as much that game. Maybe, you play a quarterback who's not as mobile. I mean, really nothing changed. So, I mean, it's just a good reminder, like, to keep that into perspective. And so another thing, too, about these sacks, it's like turnovers. They come in bunches. People get so hyper-focused on sack numbers, but in just one game, we have a favorable matchup against a bad D line our whole team total sack numbers and individual sack numbers went through the roof. And then even then too, in the article that I wrote, like, I went and looked at the sack numbers that we had. Like, we were still top 10 in the league. Like, you would have sworn we were like number 32 in the league. And then one last point to go off that is you know it's a testament to our D line playing together. Like, rather, we could have multiple guys with high sack numbers now, but they would be individuals not playing as a unit, and then it would result in more big plays and points and losses. Honestly, so a lot of these people are criticizing the D linemen for doing their job the right way and playing as a team and not getting sack numbers. But the Josh Allen game, he was 9 for 30, but I bet you about 6 or 7 of those incompletions were basically sacks where he flushed them out and they were 0-yard passes. So I'm not surprised. I'm glad it happened, and people can realize like our D line is absolutely insane. And now we're about to add Danico Autry into that. Like, it's a wrap, bro.
AD Stressens brings up Danico Autry. Unfortunately, we lose Mr. Mario Edwards Jr. for substance abuse. It's not weed, whatever he got popped for. There's been some speculations about what it is. We won't get into that. But when you get out, you get someone in, right, Paul? That was crazy. Danico Autry coming back from suspension. 11 and a half sacks last year for the – all right, come on, boys. 11 and a half sacks last year for the Tennessee Titans. And, he's averaged around 8 sacks a year for the past 4 or 5. I think he's played with the Colts. He's played with the Titans as well. So he's familiar with the Houston Texans, man. First of all, let's give a shout out to Mario Edwards Jr. He played fantastic in his absence. And I'm just so excited to get Danico Autry back.
Yeah, Danico Autry is somebody we've all been like waiting to see.
You said it, not me, Sarah. You said it, not me.
Hey, I'm gonna say something else, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. But definitely the loss of Mario Edwards will be nullified by Danico Autry. Just seeing him, and Kurt Heinrich's coming back as well, but um, but definitely Mario Edwards had a hell of a season. I think he had 3 sacks as a D tackle. Coming into going into this week before the suspension, and he'll be back in 4 weeks. So just imagine we'll get another bolster of talent coming back after Autry gets settled. So it's almost like they're trying to level off. Mario Edwards got settled in, making plays. Now Danico Autry has his opportunity to take over, make plays, and do what he does. But like you said, Ruben, Danico Autry, a 10-sack guy the last 2 years, double-digit sack guy the last 2 years. So with the Colts and the Titans, so definitely.
And what does that mean for this front four now, Harley? That you got a Danico Autry, Will Anderson Jr., Daniil Hunter, and Lorenzo Fatukasi hunting Mr. Jordan Love this Sunday.
It's a Golden Corral buffet, right? I mean, hey, let's have some fun. Go out there and do the thing.
Y'all get the Rose at Golden Corral, right? Of course, right? Of course.
Oh, Golden Corral, man, is undefeated, man. It's a staple.
That's been a long time since I've been there. It's probably been
like high school.
It's like CC's. Like Ruben, remember CC's?
Oh, CC's.
That tweet I sent you.
Oh boy.
Mexican.
We used to go there and see who could eat the most, and then everyone would be thrown up in the parking lot afterwards as kids.
Basically. What was I talking about?
Oh, the front four with
there we go. Yeah,
Daniil and
got me thinking of them goddamn cinnamon rolls from CC's, man. My fat ass senses were tingling right there, man. Yeah, no, man. Danico Autry being back, yeah, it's amazing to have, because we were just talking about. Come on now, we were just talking about what Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson did. Now you add in Danico Autry.
Brent is funny as hell, man.
Yeah,
he's crazy, man. He's
on a roll tonight.
Like now you add Danico Autry to this defensive line group. It's only going to make life for Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson easier. I mean, let's consider Danico Autry 11 and a half sacks. I mean, this guy ain't no pushover. He was an underrated signing in the offseason for the Texans. Someone that kind of got, kind of swept under the rug a little bit because of the Daniil Hunter signing. But let's not forget what Danico Autry can bring to this team. Him, Fatukasi, appreciate Mario Edwards. Hey, you're out 4 games. You come back, buddy. You come back better and stronger. No problem, man. Houston Texans defensive line, they're all about rotation anyway, man. So they're going to be rotating in and out. They're going to have fresh legs in there consistently. I'm not worried at all. I love what this D line is going to look like, and I can't wait to see Danico, Will, and Daniil Hunter at the same time. Ooh, scary for quarterbacks, opposing quarterbacks.
Dude, a lot of people still don't know who Danico Archer was. AD, if you remember back in the spaces when we signed him, right? Like we were like, who the hell was Danico Archer? And then when I mentioned his SAG total, I think it was Rogue who said, "Is that his career or for the season?" We're like, "Nah, it's for the season. This dude is a sack artist." But
ass kicker, bro.
Dude, I'm excited. Stressins, how dangerous can this front four be? Like realistically, with everyone back, everyone healthy. I think this is just the start.
It's insane, man. I mean, Autry might be the most underrated signing in the entire offseason and one of the most underrated players.
Because I'm gonna expect like 2 sacks.
He's already underrated and slept on, but like the fact that he was suspended for 6 games, like people like even more so like forgot about him. Like he's not going to be on our team. And that also too is kind of peculiar. Like they seemed like they knew that suspension was coming, so they were able to prepare for that. So that was good to know. But I am curious to see how he'll be utilized. Whether he'll be a straight up replacement for Mario Edwards Jr. by playing the tackle position, or if he'll still kind of flex in between the edge and the interior, which I imagine that'll be what it is. So you think about that if you have Will and Daniil running 60, 70+% of snaps and getting breathers on some, and you're the tackle and say, fine, I get the spell guy in, and the spell guy is Danico Autry, who's just as good. Like that's insane, bro. And then also with Autry too, like this sounds pretty much like a plug and play. I mean, from D'Amico's words about him this week, he's basically gonna hit the ground running. You have to remember he's coming off suspension, not injury. So he's just been like training, ready to freaking go this entire time, dude. And he's probably PO'd about his suspension, kind of how Mixon was, like ready to get out there. And the one thing that stuck with me this whole time, ever since we got him, was the first time I heard Caserio talk about him. He called him a junkyard dog. He said he's the type of person you want to have in a back alley with you if you have something go down. So that's the kind of like he's the tone setter, like a nasty dude. No diddy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, dude. I mean, and then we also are. I would be remiss if we did not mention Kurt Hinish is also coming back too. Obviously, he doesn't carry the same weight as a name like Autry, but that's a nice piece to add. So, and then y'all mentioned Foley and Settle and other guys stepping up. All the interior guys are underrated, but this D line as a whole is just insane.
Yeah, I almost got offended when Nick said the junkyard dog.
Yeah, a little bit. I do agree with that. R.I.P. the junkyard dog. Kurt Hinish is Houston Stressen's version of Roy Lopez for me.
Yeah.
How's he doing in Arizona?
He's having himself a solid year again in Arizona.
Similar build, huh?
Put some respect on the Mexican defense line. There we go. Come on now.
Man, shout out to my Mexicans on the field, man. There's only a few of us. Feel like last of the Mohicans out there, bro. Feel like a white cornerback out there, man.
I want that QB in Vanderbilt beat Bama.
Oh,
yeah. There go Pavia. Put some respect on Vandy's name, man.
Hey, I just need Vandy. I need him to go ahead and beat UT in a couple weeks. So that's all I need him to do.
Hey, no worries, man.
AD. We saw the rookie Kalen Bullock snag another INT. That's now 2 of the year. He's currently plus 2,500 for defensive rookie of the year. But how has the third round safety played this season, in your opinion? I am a fan of Kalen Bullock. It feels like, D'Amico loves him. And, it's only up from here from Kalen. Fantastic start to the season for the rookie.
When we drafted Kalen Bullock, we did a live, and I was like, I think this is the best pick in the draft for the Houston Texans. It's something that he fits what the Texans have desperately needed for multiple years, which is a deep cover, sideline to sideline safety, ball hawk safety. And he's absolutely that.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Fernando Warner, who's that?
But definitely Kalen Bullock has been amazing this year, taking everything that the Texans have given him as far as playtime, responsibility. He's excelled, had his rookie mistakes, rookie hiccups here and there, but he's definitely all around if you want to be honest, because I'm not considering Jalen Petrie a safety, he's been our best safety hands down. No
No, I
doubt
said that
about it.
yesterday. I think
So,
he's more, valuable than Eric Murray.
mhm.
Jimmy Ward, you can't rely on him to be there on Sunday. I'm sick of Jimmy Ward as a Houston Texan. I think Kalen Bullock has been
Hey,
your guy.
hey, if y'all watch SpongeBob, y'all know that fish that always is in the cast and everything.
My leg.
My leg.
Jimmy Ward.
That's Jimmy Ward, man.
That was easy to put together.
You know, Harley, we saw a lot of people upset that the Houston Texans gave up 21 points to the rookie. One of those touchdowns, Derek Stingley getting beat by Mr. Booty right before halftime. Your thoughts on people kind of criticizing this defense, and the 21 points.
I mean, look, I think I was a little upset that they gave up 21 points. Just, if we were going to have any sort of critique, I think giving up 21 to the Patriots was I guess, a little small something that I was
Not
upset
on our
about.
bingo card.
What's that?
Like we didn't think that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. I look at it like this. I had a bunch of Patriots fans in the comment section on one of my little viral shorts where I like trash talking the opposing team. And that was the one where, Drake May after the game, and it was Jackie Chan saying broken, 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 broken. And, and Patriots fans were like, oh, this aged horribly. And they were just like, oh, we dropped 21 points on one of the best defenses in football. And I was like, okay, one of the injured defenses in football. But you know what, man? I just laugh at it. If Patriots fans feel better that about a rookie quarterback inconveniently just saying 3 touchdowns, not remembering that there was also 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. Okay, let's not forget that either. I just laugh, man. Patriots fans make me laugh. I used to think of them as, oh man, I gotta respect Patriots fans, because they got Tom Brady and they got a generational quarterback, generational coach, and they got themselves about 2 decades worth of bounty of success.
I don't feel sorry for them at all.
I know I don't, man. But they made me laugh. Like, come on, man. The card you could have put was we got more Super Bowls in you, and no one ever pulled that card. Maybe that's a little respect to them, but they just kept saying, "Oh, our number 3 wide receiver burnt your number 1." I'm like, man, the bar is low for Patriots fans. Like, this is how bad it's been for them, man. They are happy that a rookie quarterback dropped 21 points for them.
They said the refs cheated. They said they were throwing too many flags, and I'm like, hey, bro, if there's anyone who should be mad about cheating, it should be everyone else.
I lost some respect for Patriots fans, man. Come on now. I thought we were better than that, man. Come on now.
Stresses as we look a little ahead to next week against the Green Bay Packers. And, I'll ask each of you boys this question before we leave. What does this game mean for this Houston Texans team? And at the very end, give me a little small prediction, something that we need to see for a Houston Texans W.
I mean, it's a tough game. I mean, when I looked at the schedule before the year, I had us going 6-0 and this being a potential first loss. I think it's a 50-50 coin flip game. It's 2 great teams. I think if we lose this game, we're not pretenders or frauds. I mean, it's, 2 good teams. It'll be a good measuring stick to see where we're at if we continue to take that next step. I thought this Patriots game was really encouraging. It was the first time that we actually put a team away. I mean, we saw it, all last year and early this year. We've dominated games box score wise, yards wise, time of possession wise, but still find a way to allow teams to stick around by playing with our food and it being a 1-score game in the end. And it looked like it was going to happen again at halftime last week, but they turned a corner and put it on the second half. So that's something to look forward to see if they're able to kind of continue to take that next step. There's definitely a lot of key matchups, a lot of injuries, linebacker, secondary. Obviously, Jordan Love is good, but we mentioned the D-line and their O-line. Young tackles aren't the best at pass pro. I think we got an advantage there. And I think on offense versus their defense, Mixon obviously with DP will be a force, but they do run a lot of cover 1 and cover 3 single high safeties. I think that we will see if they continue to do that against us, CJ will tear them up. I'm going to say 24-21 Texans.
Oh, Harley, you hear Mr. Engineer say it means everything.
Mm.
Is that your mindset going into this game? Does this game mean everything for the Houston Texans? A lot of people are saying if you lose this game, you're a pretender. You're not for real. I feel like I've heard that every single, game this season.
I think in terms of national media, like I don't agree that this game makes you pretender contender kind of thing. But in terms of the national media talk and the talking heads and what people deem important around sports talk, they're definitely going to have this labeled as a pretender contender kind of game, and they're going to look at, oh well, if the Texans lose, they've only beaten teams that were basically under 500 or at 500. So, besides the Bills, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're like, oh, well, you barely beat the Bills too. So that'll be a conversation to be had. If you beat the Packers, then it's, oh, the Texans, they're contenders. Look what they've done. Oh my God, they beat the Bills. Instead of they
Mhm.
barely beat the Bills, it's, oh well, they beat the Bills, and they dominated the Patriots, which it is what it is. I think overall the Houston Texans. I don't know what the definition of everything is here. I mean, I, there's still a long season left. This loss, if it happened, doesn't ruin your season or anything. It doesn't ruin home field advantage or anything. Like this is still early in the season. Obviously, I'm going to predict a win because I'm a Houston Texan fan, and I've predicted a win every single game except the Baltimore Ravens game last year, very first one of the season. And ever since then, I've predicted a win ever since.
Mm.
So, what's to stop me now? Nothing, absolutely nothing. The Houston Texans get a W here. I'm expecting a shootout, but I'm also expecting the Houston Texans to generate pressure. Jordan Love is one of, if not the worst quarterback in terms of passer rating when he is under pressure. Adding Danico Autry into the fold with Daniil Hunter, with Will Anderson, create some pressure, create some looks. I know D'Amico Ryans isn't known for blitzing, but this year he's done it quite a bit. Actually, he's kind of changed that motto of his, where the bend don't break. Hey, and F it. Send the pressure. Send it in. Jordan Love is one of the best quarterbacks when he is not under pressure. We saw that just this previous week against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are one of the teams that generate the least amount of pressure in the NFL, and the Packers ate them up. They were probably going to eat them up regardless. But that being said, the Houston Texans get a W. Score prediction. Whew. F it. I'm going to go another 30. We'll go Houston Texans get 31, Packers 24.
Mm.
Mm.
AD, all this year I've heard, oh, the Houston Texans can only beat the shitty teams. Then it was, oh, they can only win by 3. Now we get a blowout win, and now they're saying, well, you need to have a win against a pretty good team. What does this game mean for the Houston Texans? You had Stressens who circled this game earlier when he saw the calendar. I
Mhm.
myself did. We know what this means. You have two great quarterbacks going against each other all in the offseason. First Take, ESPN, they were having the debates. If you were going to start a franchise, who would you rather have, Jordan Love or CJ Stroud? This is a fun game. I'm expecting to shoot out myself. Your thoughts on it?
This is we've seen it in the chat. This is a statement game.
Mm,
This is the put the league on notice game. This is the I'm here to stay game.
mm.
You're playing a Green Bay Packer team who's pretty good this year. Jordan Love came back after that crazy injury week 1. Um, Also, you're playing in Green Bay.
Yep.
You're playing on the road in a tough environment. The weather is not supposed to be great. Um, and it's you win this game and you just everybody is looking. They've been looking at us anyway, but now the tone is different.
Mm,
The tone is like, okay, let's take these guys seriously now. And you're going to see that. So definitely, what needs to happen for us to do that is dominate in the trenches. Stresson's mentioned about their young tackles. Harley talked about getting pressure on Jordan Love, but also dominating in the run game.
Mm.
Let Joe Mixon go crazy. Their defensive line is not as weak, I mean, it's not as strong. I'm sorry, their defensive line is weak compared to years past, and they're susceptible to the run. So definitely go in there and run the ball down their throats, pause, and and dominate on the defensive line as well and get pressure. Will Anderson have a repeat performance, win Defensive Player of the Week again. The Neil Hunter, you love Green Bay. Show us how much you love Green Bay.
That's a
You
good
know,
point.
so definitely feel like the Texans beat the Patriots last week. What Patriots starts with a P, right?
Yes, sir.
And beating the Packers
Oh, the P.
it starts with a P, right? Looks
Pushing
like
alliteration right there.
looks like we pushing P.
There we go.
So
There we go.
let's go ahead, man. I got the Texans winning this game. Another 30. I'm forever the rest of the season going to predict 30 points. 37-27 Texans win. Double two-score game.
Oh, I love that. And, I do agree, AD. This is a statement game. It feels like with some Houston Texans fans, that phrase, same old Houston Texans, still lies in the back of their head. The PTSD, the trauma that this team has caused you in the past. You win a game against the Green Bay Packers, and I believe the Houston Texans are 1-5 against Green Bay in their total matchups. I mean, this will be a great win. And then you add this one with on top of the first time you ever won in Gillette Stadium. We're going to be feeling great about this Houston Texans team. I have it being a shootout, man. I have it going 37-34, Kyrie Fairbairn winning it at the buzzer, man, showing that he is the best kicker
in football.
in the NFL. Once again, dude, this, maybe 37 is too high, but I don't care. I want this to be a fantastic game. Our corners are not going to be there. The Green Bay Packers wide receiving core is very good. It might come down to the last quarterback to have the ball could potentially win the game. But I have the Houston Texans taking a dub. Before we get out of here, guys, we'll start with AD and then we'll go all around. Let the fans know where they can find you and all your latest work. I think we got some of the best Houston Texans content creators up here, man. It's been a fantastic season.
Absolutely. You can find me at the H-Town Rundown on X. You can also find me at the H-Town Rundown on YouTube. And you can find our website, the htownrundown.org as well.
Go ahead, Harley.
You can find me at @the_lead_HOU anywhere on social media, especially on YouTube. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're under 300 away from there. So appreciate every single one of y'all that has liked, commented, and subscribed. So y'all know the drill, man. If y'all watching, go ahead and like the stream wherever you're watching it at, whether it's my platform. Hell, go ahead and like it on all platforms, damn it. Go on all platforms and like the damn stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. What are you doing if you're not? You're going to find some of the most passionate Houston sports fans right here on your screen. We talk to a camera every day, and the camera never talks back, and I'm wondering why.
Go ahead. That was fantastic. Go ahead, Stressens.
Yeah, so you can find me at Texans Commenter on all social media except Instagram. It's at Houston Stressens. I have my new website. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. I just released a new shirt today, which is the Step Brothers one with Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter. I got a couple other shirts I'm going to drop. I'll be going live here right after this on my stream. You'll see it on all the same platforms. So I also got the H-Town 713 shirt. I'll be adding that to my site, but it's also on another site as well. It's been a great season. Like Ruben said, I mean, I'm enjoying every second, every day of this. I feel like the weeks just go by so quick because it's like consume Texans content all day,
everything's
every day.
Better. The beer's better.
Life is just good, man.
Better. The sex is fantastic, man. This is what happens when you have a winning football team, man.
Yes, sir.
I could get used to this, boys.
Yep.
But let's get used to it in the playoffs.
Oh, I'm gonna have a baby. We go far, bro.
What's far, man? What's far?
Hey, man, I'm having a kid. If we hoist up that Lombardi, 9 months.
What about tattoo? Are you a tattoo guy?
I want to get my leg done. Yeah, I mean for sure.
Let's get something out there. We got something to aspire for.
Why we get
AFC Championship appearance? You can get like a logo and then Super Bowl.
I'll get a logo. I won't get the trophy. Yeah, I'll get the logo.
Ooh.
Only if we win, though, right?
Ruben not swarming, y'all. Ruben is not.
You get the trophy, but don't put the year.
AFC Championship, Mr. 713 Houston Sports is going to get the new alternate logo or what?
Yeah. I could do that. I'll get that in the back of my calf.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down to do that. I'll do that.
Every
Huh?
Hispanic got that Texan logo on the back of their cap.
No, right? I'll get it. I love it.
I love my people, bro.
I love it. You can find me on YouTube. Just type in 713 Houston Sportcast. It'll pop right up, man. Hey, like I said, I think we got some of the best Houston Texans content creators up here. Guys, have a real blessed day. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, reacting